Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Math Puzzle Crash Course. We have another short order of operations puzzle here that combines a lot of the different operations that you'll run into. In this one, we actually have parentheses, we have exponents, um, we've got some multiplication that's inside the parentheses, we've got division, and addition and subtraction. So we're covering all the bases on this problem. So I want to go through this one briefly, following the order of operations convention and give a little insight on how to solve this problem. So the problem we're looking at is 5 plus 6 divided by 2 plus 30 minus the quantity 3 times 2 squared. So you notice here that we have a 3 times 2 in parentheses, and then that whole quantity is squared. So we have exponents. Our exponent is 2. So when we've got this problem, we need to follow the order of operations convention. And this convention has been covered in other videos that I have. I will add some links in this video description if you're not familiar with the order of operations, but I will just say up front that the order of operations convention is not new mathematics. It doesn't only apply to algebra. It only doesn't apply in this situation and not this. It basically applies in every situation where you have multiple operations. If all you're doing is adding and subtracting, you don't really care. But we're mixing, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, exponents. I mean, we've got everything in here. So we do need to follow that. So, but I'm not going to go into the details here. What I am going to say is that if you are familiar with order of operations, you know what the first thing we're looking for are parentheses, or you may refer to them as brackets. There's PEMDAS as an acronym, PEMDAS. There's BODMAS, BEDMAS, BIDMAS. There's different ones. So you may refer to parentheses as brackets depending on where you're from. But we do have parentheses. So number one, we're going to have to start with what's inside of those. Then the next thing are exponents, which we do have. We have an exponent. Then we solve multiplication and division left to right, remembering that multiplication and division have equal precedence. And then finally, we solve addition and subtraction left to right. Addition and subtraction also have equal precedence. So yeah, if we go through the steps here, number one, we're going to solve what's inside the parentheses first. Well, that's pretty easy. 3 times 2 is 6. So yeah, let's take a look at that here. So yeah, 3 times 2 is 6. So we're solving what's inside parentheses. So then that leaves us with 5 plus 6 divided by 2 plus 30, and then minus 6 to the power of 2. All right, so let's move on to the next page here if we can. All right, then we're going to solve our exponents next. So we've got 6 to the second power, 6, basically same thing as 6 squared, 6 times 6, which ends up being 36. So we are left with 5 plus 6 divided by 2 plus 30 minus 36. So hopefully you can see that 6 to the second power is going to be 36. So once we've solved our exponents, the next thing is our multiplication and division left to right. So if we're going left to right, what's our first operation of the two? We have division. So that's what we do first. We don't even have any multiplication here, so we start with our division. And that's fairly easy. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So if you look down here, I've got this arrow showing 6 divided by 2. That becomes 3. We still have 5 plus our 3, which is what's left of our 6 divided by 2, plus 30 minus 36. So now, after all of this, we're left with just simple addition and subtraction. So that's fairly easy. 5 plus 3 plus 30 minus 36 will equal 2. because 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 plus 30 is 38. So you're going to have 38 minus 36, which will equal 2. Now, I do want to mention that there is an alternative way to solve this type of a problem by replacing the question mark with an x and basically treating it, this is basically an algebraic equation when it truly is one. Basically the requirement, the simple requirement for an algebraic expression or equation is that you have an unknown, and we do have an unknown. Even they're showing it as a question mark, but this still makes it's still an equation in this case. We have an equal sign. You could easily replace the question sign with an x, an a b, any variable. So if you're familiar with algebra, then you could also solve for x. So what I've done here is I've replaced the question mark with an x, and we can try to solve for x. And one way to do that would be to, even if you don't understand the order of operations convention very well, you could start, if you know any algebra or how to work equations, you know that you can add, subtract, multiply. As long as you do whatever you do on the left side of your equation, you have to do on the right. So if I subtract a number from the left, I have to subtract the same number from the right side of the equal sign. So that's exactly what we're going to do to start out here. Now, I'll just say there's different ways to go about it. You could subtract, you could not necessarily follow the exact same path I did, but you will end up with the same answer. So in my case here, what I'm doing is I'm saying, okay, let's subtract 30 from both sides of the equation. And this is the original equation up at the top. See, I have a 30, and then I'm going to replace the question mark with an x. So will you subtract 30 from both sides? Well, that 30 goes away on the left side, but now on the right side, you're going to have x minus 30. Now, I'm also going to say, in this case, let's subtract 5 from both sides of the equation. Well, that gets rid of the 5 out front, right? We're just left with 6 divided by 2 minus the quantity 3 times 2 squared equals x minus 30, and then here's our minus 5. We subtracted the 5 on the left, so we have to subtract 5 on the right. Now let's simplify the right side of the equation down a little bit, right? X minus 30 minus 5 is the same thing as saying x minus 35. And now this left side, that's still the same. Let's see, what else can we do to try to further reduce this thing? Yeah, well, what we can do is, I jumped ahead here a bit. So yeah, you got the x minus 35. So the next thing we could do is say, well, let's subtract 6 divided by 2 from both sides of the equation, just because I feel like it. I want to work left to right. So if I do that, on this side, you get your x minus 35 minus the 6 divided by 2. And then we had the 6 divided by 2 on the original, equation up here. Well, it disappears from the left side because we've subtracted it from the left. So it's gone. That leaves us just with minus 3, the quantity minus 3 times 2 squared equals x minus 35 minus 6 divided by 2. So, we do have to understand that, yeah, we need to solve inside of the parentheses again. So 3 times 2 is 6. So we've got the 6 in here to the second power. And don't forget we have a minus sign out here. That's carried over, equals the x minus 35 minus 6 divided by 2. Now let's go ahead and solve the exponents here on the left side of the equation. That's going to give us minus 36 equals x minus 35 minus 6 divided by 2. All right, so what we can do here is add 36 to both sides. So let's go back one page. See, we had minus 36 here on the left, right? So if we add 36 on the left side, Minus 36 plus 36 is 0. Then on the right side of the equation, note that we had x minus 35 right here. See this? X minus 35. All right, well, minus 35 plus 36 is plus 1. So this becomes x plus 1, and then we still have our minus 6 divided by 2. Now we can go ahead and perform our division. 6 divided by 2 is 3, so we're going to have 3 here, and you still got the minus sign, so we got to keep that. So we got 0 equals x plus 1 minus 3. Now solve the addition and subtraction on the right. What's 1 minus 3? It's minus 2. So 0 equals x minus 2. Well, this is getting to be easier. So add 2 to both sides of the equation, and you're left with 2 equals x. So once again, x equals 2, or 2 equals x. There are different ways you could have added and subtracted on both sides of the equation, and you could have isolated x on the left side rather than on the right, however you wanted to do that. But in the end, you'd still, if you're doing it the right way, you're still going to get the answer that x equals 2. And I do want to add this too. I usually like to add this because whenever these discussions come up, people will argue answers back and forth, using their calculators. I just want to say you want to use a scientific calculator, or maybe an Android phone calculator, possibly iPhone, or basically any calculator that has what's known as an internal stack chain that can handle multiple operations. Really cheap calculators will not work. Another frustrating thing to me, um, and I guess it's intentional, but I don't feel like Microsoft really explained it well, but the Windows PC standard calculator will not work. And I don't care if you have Windows 7, Windows 10, Windows 11. I've had them all. That will not work. It will calculate incorrectly because it does not. It uses what they call immediate execution mode. So it's basically solving as you're entering. Like so, it's doing like 5 plus 6 equals and giving you 11 to start with, and then it's you need to put it in scientific mode. The screenshot I have here is from an Android. Yeah, but yeah, the Windows PC standard mode calculator, you'll know it because I think that's the default setting. It'll say standard right here. And if you click on, I think they call this a hamburger menu. I guess it's because you have the bun and the patty in the middle, is why they call it that. I never understood what that meant when I first heard. What the heck is a hamburger menu? But it's the little 3 horizontal lines here. And so you would click on that and select scientific, and then it will work. But like I said before, the Windows PC standard calculator uses immediate execution mode, so it only solves the current operation. It can't do multiple operations. So if you're just adding and subtracting and not mixing operations, you can use that calculator. But I would suggest switching that over to scientific mode, as you see here, and it can solve problems that require the use of the order of operations. And that's where you have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, anything like that. You got multiple operations, and you use this little x to the y key for entering in that exponent of 2. So you see that when I enter that in, this scientific calculator, you do get the correct answer of 2. Um, and this may be a bit much for some people. You just wanted to get the answer to the problem, and I get that. Um, I just wanted to also mention that I do see a lot of people press the equals key no matter what calculator they're using after every operation. They would go in there and do 5 plus 6 equals, plus 2 equals, plus 30 equals, minus, and then the thing is, I don't know why, I really don't understand why people do that. I guess not everyone knows how to use a calculator correctly. If you look at the equation, there's only one equal sign in the equation at the very end. There's not multiple equal signs. So I just want to warn people about that. And again, I just want to say, hey, the Math Puzzle Crash Course is on YouTube. We do have a Facebook page where I try to update when the new videos are coming out. And I appreciate any likes, shares, subscriptions. All of that's very helpful for me to keep this going. And I appreciate your time. Have a great day.